Well, hello, I'm with Vanessa Zamy today. How are you, Vanessa? Good to have you here.
Happy to be here. Yeah, thanks for having me.
You are a business expert, keynote speaker, best-selling author. You are dedicated, I love dedication, helping full-time employees transition to entrepreneurship by building their business while employed. You've been a business consultant, nine to fivers, building their profit-producing, purpose-driven business, even with a demanding day job. So welcome. And one other thing I happen to notice is that you've done over 300 episodes of business, marketing, sales, and productivity tips. That's amazing. So I'm
Yeah,
so glad to have you with me today.
happy to be here. Yeah, episode 403 comes out. Well, it came out yesterday, this week.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful. So tell me a little bit about your background. You spent some time in the San Francisco area.
Yeah. So actually, so I was raised in Brooklyn, New York, and Boston, Massachusetts, and then went out to California for university. But ended up staying there also for my corporate work, corporate America, out in San Francisco, Northern California area, the Bay Area. So yes, now I'm back in Massachusetts, though, essentially, and yeah.
So I hope you're staying warm there. I was hoping for a snow day down here in Costa Rica, but I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. So.
You never know. I mean, all this weather stuff happening. You never know. Possible. Possible mistake.
Yeah. So let me ask you a couple of different questions. In your own words, one of the things you talk about is self-improvement. So what does that phrase self-improvement mean to you?
The phrase self-improvement, essentially, it's at the end of the day, it's very important when I tell my clients also, it's like you are the core of your business, right? So the founder, the entrepreneur, the person who started the business is the core of the business. And so I tell people that what that means is that if you don't show up for your business, no one else is going to show up for your business. Like it's not going to be, you can't sort of open up shop and then not show up to the shop and expect the shop to be open in a sense. And so self-improvement is really critical when it comes to, business entrepreneurship. As you probably know, Dave, yourself, right? They say it's 20% strategy, 80% mindset. And so with that, I help my clients a lot with the strategy, but then mindset will come up. And so it's a lot of understanding and navigating, what are the beliefs, what are the experiences in your past that are influencing the present and future. And they may not be influencing it in a good way. And so even for me, for example, those are some money things I had to go through in 2021 of just my thoughts around money and how, abundance and greed and all that jazz and navigating my money mindset so I can show up better and also welcome in the rewards that were happening in my business at that time during that year. And so, obviously make a change now and impact as well the rest of your lifetime as well too. But self-improvement at the end of the day is really taking the time to improve upon your internal self, right? Usually it's just the internal self, right? And now some people also have, health. We talk about health and the physical side of things and all that jazz. That definitely is also, contributes to how you feel inside. But definitely it all comes down to the center of the inside and how you're improving upon it and acknowledging it and really being aware of it at the end of the day. And that's what self-improvement and how that even connects and ties into self-care as well.
Yeah, I've heard the phrase, and this may apply to some of the trainings and teachings that you have done. You can be either working in your business or on your business. Explain that to people that might not know what that means.
Yeah, so the idea there, and the thing is, I say for those who are, if you're early stage, and typically you're working like in your business, right? But at some point in time, you want to be at the point where you're starting to work on your business. And the difference is working in your business is really just meaning that, you're doing a lot of the work of your business. And so, that you're the accountant, you're the CMO, the chief marketing officer, the CFO, the chief financial officer, you're, doing the product development, product thinking, you're working with clients, working with customers, you're doing the marketing, the sales, you're doing everything pretty much. And then as you grow, though, the idea that as you grow in your business, you want to be less in your business and more on your business. And so be at a point where you're not necessarily you're doing maybe you're the one obviously speaking at the conference, but you're not the one who booked the speaking at the conference, or you're not the one who perhaps booked your travel to the conference, but you're the one speaking at the conference, right? And so it's kind of like the difference there. Or let's say you are, you're selling you do an online e-commerce store, right? Like maybe in the beginning, you start out making the products yourself. But then at some point you transition into having training other people to make the products, right? Or, having someone else take the photos of the products to put them on the website. And so really you want to be in a stage of your business where every entrepreneur should be thinking about how can I eventually get to a place where I work on my business versus in my business. And what it means to work on your business, what that actually looks like tactically is that you're hiring people, you're training people, you're, delegating, you're outsourcing, but you're also leading as well too, right? And being a great leader to ensure that everything is seamlessly working and flowing together.
Yeah. So this might sound weird to some people, but I've heard it said that actually, believe it or not, that when you're actually starting your business, you need to factor in thinking about an exit strategy, which is, to your point, what you just said about working in your business or on your business. I'm a horrible DIY addict, I should say, of trying to do it all myself. But over time, you want to delegate, because otherwise you're your own employee, and that could be hours and hours of things you don't need to do. I like what. Yeah, exactly. I think I like maybe it was John Maxwell who said this one time. Don't work on what you're weak at, work on what you're good at, and let all the things that you're not good at, delegate them to somebody else to do. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yes. And I'd like to, the way I translate that is really saying, it's like, what do you like to do? What do you not like to do? Right. And just like some of my clients, for example, they reach a point, like I remember I had one client where she's a brick and mortar store out in Michigan. I work with clients around the US and also around the globe. And essentially for her, she had reached a point, essentially, but she didn't realize that she could sort of like outsource the bookkeeping. Like it didn't like come into mind where it's like, yeah, you don't have to do bookkeeping. Like you hate it. You don't have to do it. Right. And she's also like 6 figures in her business. Whereas, when you're starting out as a business owner, as an early stage entrepreneur, as a, small business or startup phase, whatever you want to call it, you may end up having to do that. Right. And maybe you end up hating it. And what I have to tell business owners, though, I think a lot of people, sometimes the opposite happens, where a lot of people, so some people are just like you, Dave, where they start out DIY, for the rest of my life, right? And the other people, though, they're sort of like, no, I need to delegate now because I need to work on the business versus in the business. And the thing is that you need to do it at a certain time in your business, right? Because what you don't want to do is now you're paying, thousands of dollars to people to help you with their business, but you're not bringing in any money at all. So you don't want to do that as well too, right? You want to ensure that you have that balance of money coming in and money coming out so that you can outsource and delegate effectively. And sometimes you may even have kids. And so, hey, bring them into the family business, get that going. There are different ways for you to outsource effectively and, efficiently as well too. Sometimes people, they don't want to outsource and delegate because of cost. There are ways for you to do it in a very affordable way, right? There are many different ways, including, even virtual assistants internationally, even, looking at interns, looking at, your family friend's daughter looking for experience in marketing, and so having those avenues and looking at different ways for you to delegate and outsource. And sometimes in the early stages, at least when I work with my clients in that stage, it's the productivity breakthrough comes into play where it's like, sometimes you just don't actually have to do that. Like what you think you actually need to do, you actually don't need to do it. It's just, maybe it's what other people are telling you to do because you just feel like you have to do it, but you really don't, right? Like you need to be on Clubhouse, you need to be on TikTok, you need to, do all these things that people are saying that you need to do. Sometimes not really, right? And so now you're just adding a whole bunch of stuff that you're working on that you don't actually need to be working on to even begin with. And so that's why I do a lot with my clients on the strategy and having that clear strategy up front. Because when you have that clear, defined, direct strategy, now you're understanding what are the actual priority next steps and action items and tasks and to-do that you actually need to do for your business. And then you can outline and say, okay, this is what I need to have happen for this quarter or for this week or for this month. Do I have to do it? Or can someone else do it? Okay, can someone else do it? Great. Well, if someone else can do it, do I have the money to pay that to someone else, right? Right. And then from there, you got to figure out, okay, well, I don't. All right, cool. Well, then I guess I got to do it myself, but how can I do it efficiently? So my motto is keep it simple, then keep it moving, right? So how can I do it efficiently and in a way that is effective, right? In a way that's effective for your business. And so like for me at a point where I'm like outsourcing, delegating stuff. And so I have a graphic designer, I have like a videographer. I just onboarded actually a new team member the past 2 days. And she's going to be helping with essentially a whole bunch of stuff. I know, like her title is executive assistant. She just helping with a whole bunch of stuff. That's what she's doing in the business. But it's, looking at, okay, what needs to be outsourced, what needs to be delegated, what is actually a priority for your business, and what isn't a priority for your business, and doesn't even need to be considered in the factor of things that you need to do. Because at the end of the day, a lot of my clients, for example, some of my clients are full-time entrepreneurs. So they have 40 hours a week to work on their business. Others of my clients, they're doing their business while also doing their demanding day job, right? They're VPs, they're directors at their job, and they're also looking to grow a business on the side as well, too. And so to eventually then calmly and confidently transition to full-time entrepreneurship. But the fact of the matter is that, with that, balance, it's like they don't have 40 hours a week. They may have 20, they may have 10. One of my clients have only 5 hours a week. And so that really does limit what you're able to do during the week, but does not mean you can't do your business. It just means you have to rethink how you're doing your business and what it is that you're working on and how it is that you're working on that business to actually see the vision that you actually want to have happen.
So let me ask you this. So having said that, what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? I don't know. I think what keeps me up at night. I sleep. Actually, one of my non-negotiables. So one of the things that I do for self-improvement and self-care is to sleep 8 hours, at least 8 hours of sleep a night. So I average that at least every single night. And so, yeah, I'd say that's pretty much it there. If there's ever a time that, let's say I find myself not able to sleep, so maybe, I go to sleep and I wake up like in the middle of the night and it was like, and I have all these thoughts flowing in my mind. Usually that means that I just need to take out a journal and I just need to write the stuff out of my mind. Or it means, that, what's another thing that it might mean? I think that's what it means there. Or I just need to rethink and kind of like do like a re-strategizing of my business in a sense. And so I'll do that and then that'll be it. So then from there, it's just like, well, that was a nice night. So next. Good. Yeah, so right now it's looking to keep me up at night. I have pretty much fixed anything that was probably, but yes.
Good answer. My phone now tells me when I'm supposed to go to sleep and get the 8 hours in or whatever. But for years, I've also, because I'm a writer as well, like yourself, I used to keep a legal pad and a pen by my bedside table, because if I did wake up thinking something, and if I don't write it down, it's going to disappear when I wake up. Oh,
yes. Happens to me all, yes. Mm-hmm.
And so that would, mainly thinking or something comes to mind that I need to do, and like yourself. But now with all these upgrades on my phone, they tell me what to do. Yeah, great answer. I like to ask answers that are probing and it makes you think a little bit. So to your point about our previous topic, what are you not good at?
What am I not good at? I'd say I don't know what I'm not good at. What bothers me, what irks me to do, I would say, is it's one of those like I don't plan content. What do I mean by that? So what happens is that when it comes to the creative flow of my mind, ideas will just come. Like I'll just be walking down, or I'll just go to sleep, or I'll just be living the day, and I'll be like, ooh, that's a great idea for a post. Versus like that's just generally what happens. Then I'll just like write it. I'll take out my OneNote on my laptop. I'll just start writing it down. I'll be like, great, that's a great post. And then I'll look at my calendar and be like, yeah, I'll post that in about like a month or so. Whatever it may be, depending on whatever's happening in my business. But the whole, sitting down for a couple of hours and like actually trying to like what to say, that hurts me. But I do know it's important to batch content because then you end up, having a good flow beforehand. But it just doesn't work with the creative juices that I have. They just like to just randomly pop up whenever they want to pop up. And I just learned to accept that. But what I will say is that it does create some pressure sometimes. Then it's like, ooh, I only have like 2 weeks left of content. Ooh, I need more content. Oh my goodness. And so what irks me is really, I would say creating content irks me just because of that whole like, I know that when my brain feels like it'll come up with something, but not when it like feels a pressure to do it. Just will not, like nothing more. Yeah.
Well, if this is encouraging to you, some people call it writer's block, but I love to. I have a music background, being an old DJ and stuff, and so I like to listen to interviews of different music people. And it's interesting, the songwriters who have, they're famous, and you'd never know it unless you heard them talking about this. How they got stuck about writing the next song or whatever, or how they collaborated with maybe somebody else, and one had this thought, but they didn't know how to finish it, or one wrote the music and the other one came up with the words, and they kind of tinkered around together, and voila, it occurred. But like you're saying, it is a challenge when you're trying to. My problem is I have too much content. I have like 4,000, 5,000 videos and pictures on my phone, and then I'll look at them and thinking, that'd make a great post, and then I forget where I put it. More about you. I want to know, we are here actually to promote a really cool event that you've got coming up. How to grow your purpose-driven business without sleep deprivations. We're just talking about that. Or medication.
Yeah, or without burnout. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So let's talk. It's a 2-hour webinar. Let's talk about what are you up to, and how can we help you with that?
Yeah, so essentially this class, so I'll tell people, so how to grow your purpose-driven business without burnout, without sleep deprivation, and without meditation. It's pretty much the insider's guide to reviving your business for long-term success without any headaches. And so this class came out of essentially, when I'm helping my clients in my accelerator and applying my hustle and breathe framework to help them really take care of business, also taking care of their life. It is just, they are just living calmly and confidently experiencing full-time entrepreneurship. I had a client actually last week. She was like, my husband loves her. My husband loves Vanessa. She said to like a group of people. And I've never met her husband before. I've never seen him before. But essentially she was saying that her husband loves me because essentially he's seeing the joy, he's seeing the calm and the peace that his wife is experiencing in her business. And so, that's making him love. He's like, whatever that girl's doing, Vanessa, just like, keep doing it. And so, but with that being said, this class is really applying, helping people to figure out how to find the time to do it all, right? Because as an entrepreneur, you're probably doing a bunch of other stuff in life too, because you're not just one single business owner person, right? And so there's that side of things, how to find the time to do it all, how to ensure that you're, making things happen, while also calmly breathing in the process. But at the same time, how do you confidently hustle, right? How do you ensure that you are getting things done at the end of the day? And it's not just, sleep and rest and nap, right? And so how do you ensure that, because it's not, calmly breathing is also not about sleep. We talk about 3 other things in the class. But essentially, the second thing is how to unstuck your income and how to ensure that you're growing the business that you actually want to grow, making the impact, but also income that you want to in the community, city, state, country, or world. And then a third thing that we essentially unpack and uncover is how to essentially ensure that your marketing is running efficiently. And so, especially this year, when you're thinking about, there may be people who aren't already online, or they're online, but they're like, oh, this is too much work. Oh, this is annoying. And so, as you probably heard me say a couple minutes ago. So essentially, I'll be guiding, the attendees through how to ensure their marketing runs efficiently so that they're optimizing their online presence in 2022. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff as well, even within that, that we'll be talking about in my class. But how to grow your purpose-driven business. But pretty much it's the complete business revival system for overwhelmed entrepreneurs to really take their business to the next level, take your life to the next level at the same time while you're doing that. And so if you do want to sign up, yourbusinessrevival.com is the place to sign up for that. Yes.
Oh, excellent. And now, but they do need to register, correct?
Yes. So yourbusinessrevival.com. I don't know if we had that link, but yeah.
Yep, I have it. I have it right here. Yep.
Oh, great. Yeah. So yourbusinessrevival.com. So what you do is once you type yourbusinessrevival.com, you hop on that link, and then essentially you'll click the register now. I didn't have a class last week, and then people were essentially asking me like, oh, I can't make it, but what other days are happening? But people who did make it really loved it. So I'm hosting another one essentially next week and the week after. And so you can sign up by going to yourbusinessrevival.com. It's putting your name, putting your email, select a date, and see you there. You'll get the Zoom link. So it's over Zoom. It's over Zoom. It's not Facebook Live or LinkedIn Live. It will be over Zoom. And so you'll get the special Zoom link when you sign up. Yes. I do have other paid things. And so if you want to work with me, though, if you're like, Vanessa, let's just work together one-on-one and partner together, that would be $10,000 for 12 weeks, one-on-one weekly sessions for us to connect. If you want to do that, you're welcome to do that. Hop on my website, vanessazamy.com for that. But essentially, if you are looking for, your DIY and you want to ensure that you just, want more of this information that we shared here today on Dave's show, and shout out to Dave for hosting us here this morning. But yes, and you're welcome to essentially hop on yourbusinessrevival.com and sign up.
Okay, great. I got many more questions, but the time is ticking. So we are running a little short on time here, but that's okay. I've got that, yourbusinessrevival.com. We want to promote that for you. Let me ask you this. What was your very first job when you were a kid or a teenager?
Well, essentially, I'm 13 or 14 years old, and my first job was working for a nonprofit social justice community activist organization in Boston, Massachusetts. And I essentially helped them. They hosted a annual multicultural festival in the community over the summer. And so I was a summer intern, and I was tasked with helping them to navigate the arts vendors and essentially the activities of that annual festival that they have. I think that year it was the 23rd one or the 25th one that they hosted. But that was essentially my first job in 2013. And then I've been working ever since pretty much.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Vanessa, for being with me. I'm speaking with Vanessa Zamy, and I'm Dave Henning with the Fresh Start Podcast, fresh ideas for business and personal growth. And we invite you to join in and register for Vanessa's webinar, businessrevival.com.
Yourbusinessrevival.com.
Got it. Thank you.